Here are 5 actual tips that I use to climb from Bronze 3 all the way to Grandmaster 450 LP. These tips will be general that can be applied to every game, and no, they aren't boring cookie cutter tips like ward more or don't die to ganks. Before I continue, if you enjoy educational League content like this video, consider dropping a sub. It's free and you can change your mind later. Now onto the topic. The gameplay playing in the background is a Diamond Smurf Riven game of my own, where I feel like I really did my job to bring my team back into the game and lead us to the win, an appropriate backdrop for this video. Throughout this gameplay, you'll often see me do things that I speak of here. The truth is, we all know what gets us ahead in League and what puts us behind, but due to lack of discipline, we often choose the more fun or lazy option over what is correct. Repeating the correct behaviours and actions creates a consistent and well-rounded player, and the game needs to be played with an active, objective and aroused mind. This means active decision making with no autopiloting, a lack of subjectivity by playing to the rules that reside within the game, and playing when you're at your most focused. Why do you say you want to climb but then stay up till 4 AM, go to school, then come home and try play League, or get mad and flame that you're threshed Mr. Hook? It happened, it can't be changed, and he knows what he did wrong, so why even talk about it? You're wasting valuable mental energy on something that has already happened and cannot be changed. Close games out cleanly and concisely. Trying to 1v5 with a 700 gold bounty is not that, and is playing for fun, not for the win. I can't even count how many times I lost a winning game doing this before I learned to play with discipline and close the game out properly. With some mindset disclosures out of the way, let's jump into the tips. Tip number 1, lane consistency. The first tip is lane consistency. While this sounds black and white, an expansion can give insight on how to be a more consistent player. As we all know, a very strong tip to climbing is playing between 1 to 3 to 5 champions all the time and sticking with a main role while dodging on your less proficient. When you have this small of a champion pool, you're going to be against bad matchups or counters often despite being on your comfort pick. However, chances are the player that you're against isn't as comfortable on their counter pick as you are on your main. This is where your experience is relevant. After a less than optimal laning phase and hopefully not falling too far behind, you're going to get a lot more comfortable transitioning into the mid or late game on your champion than they are on theirs. Making your pick work no matter the circumstances is key to climbing and will allow you to excel for divisions to come. Learn every matchup for your champion so well that even though some lanes aren't really winnable, at least you won't drop 50 CS and go 0-4. Anecdotally, I've played so much Riven that I know what lanes I have to survive so I can just scale. Some lanes I just have to take D-shield and farm what I can without bleeding my lane. Above all, experience is the most valuable, even more so than gold. Give some farm to stay alive. 3 CS isn't worth getting half your HP bar chunked, then getting dove anyway. Retain relevance throughout rough matchups so you can help your team win later on. Tip number 2, have foresight. This is something that has helped me greatly and goes hand in hand with thinking proactively about the game. When doing things that don't require concentration like farming a camp, waiting for a bounce, warding, etc., look at the minimap and try to foresee what is about to happen so you can answer accordingly. For example, if you're playing jungle and you see that your top laner at about 20% HP and they have a fat wave building for a crash, go and hover top while your laner farms the wave. Worst case is they get dove and lose 3 waves of creeps while giving 3+ plates to jungle top. Best case is you turn the dive, your top survives, you go 2-0, get to share the big wave and get to shove it into the enemy tower to deny. You can even go to Herald after this if you wanted. These foresights are literally game winning. Actively try to predict what will happen to the map. Furthermore, out of the scope of prediction and into reality, if dragon spawns in 50 seconds and you're just leaving base, plan your order of things to do before attending the objective. In this sense, you're still using good foresight to maximize your efficiency on the map, but you'll also be there for the objective. Instead of just floating around dragon waiting for it to spawn, you could have fixed the top wave, passed the Krugs, then raptors, shoved mid, got a good ward down and now still have 10 seconds before it spawns. Foresight can be employed in so many situations. You can even predict where a carry will appear in a fight and try to flank or position yourself accordingly. Tip number 3, learn to be carried. League is a 5-player game. Every player will have their game to carry, but this is not every single one. Most of the time, if you do your job, you'll be victorious. If you just got 3-wave dove by a Renekton and Elise and you know it's going to happen again, just sack your lane and build to survive. Rush boots too to help you survive, or defensive components of your mythic. You can't do damage if you're dead. Chances are your jungler has split the map and is making something happen bot side, whether it be taking camps, dragon, or ganking another lane. It is now your job to be a punching bag and absorb pressure while not bleeding your lane the absolute best that you can. Don't start flaming about how you don't get ganks, just suck it up and be a reliable weak side player. What sounds worse, you going 0-2 30 CS down but only 1 level? Or you going 0-6 80 CS down but 3 levels? You let your emotion get in the way of the objective of winning, and now you have an absolute titan raid boss top laner tearing the rest of the map apart while you're there typing away feeling sorry for yourself. Trust your team can carry despite your losses top and continue to play in a way that supports your win condition. Tip 4, wave management. You have heard this tip before, I know it, but if you want to climb, you need to understand what wave management can do for you. I got stuck Diamond 4 for a good year before I finally took it upon myself to learn how to manage my wave. Within 2 weeks, I'd climbed 600 LP and was peaking. If you want to climb, you need to be proactive in your learning. If you're stuck on wave management and would like me to cover it in another video, drop a sub and let me know. I'm happy to teach. Tip number 5, proactivity. Play the game with a complete objective in mind. I often get asked by players how to maintain good CS per minute while having impact around the map. By using foresight and proactivity, you're able to get things done without just floating around. Don't wait for plays to happen, be there ready for them or start them yourself. As soon as you've last hit your wave, go farm a jungle camp, ward, roam, just do something. Even if you're ahead top but you know your mid is struggling, go and ward for them, apply pressure. Too often I see lower players just wandering river, going here and there, just following plays that lead to deaths, everything. Be proactive in what you're trying to achieve, no 50-50 plays and don't follow losing fights. If you know a play is bad, just walk away and mute whoever got caught because they'll probably flame you. The truth is, you'll climb and they'll keep dying to the same dumb deaths. Hard stuck often happens when you keep making the same mistakes but don't self-reflect to try and improve on them. You need to be better than the players around you and don't fall into the pit of bad plays we often get baited into. On the flip side of this coin, make plays you know will work. If you can see a good opening, capitalize on it. For example, if you're playing Yone and their ADC just used flash but walks up too far, hold your ADC's hand in the play and force them to get the kill by flash engaging. If you die, it was a bad play and needs to be improved on, i.e. if their jungler countered the engage, next time you go for that play you need to recollect if you know the location of their jungler. I hope you've learned something valuable and tangible from this video. These are personally things I've used to climb and have been taught by players better than myself. If you have any questions or want to see more of this format of videos, let me know by liking the video and subbing. If you wish to see how this game turns out, I can make a separate video on this gameplay exactly dissecting the thought processes while playing that led me to carry the game. May the gods of LP bless your climb.